Hey guys, kinggath here with another patch for Sim Settlements. This is patch 2.0.3, which I'm calling Banhammer. So the big new feature of this is that if you walk up to your city planner's desk, you'll see that the file cabinet drawer now has an option to configure your building plans. So the reason this is Banhammer is because by accessing these menus, you can ban your settlers from ever creating certain building plans. So let's say, for example, that you really hate a specific residential model. You can come in and remove it from this list so that your settlers will no longer have access to it. So let's say metal prefabs and outdoorsmen really offend you. You can just remove them from this section and they will never be automatically built. You'll still be able to manually select them if you were to walk up to an individual plot, but your settlers won't select these building plans any longer. You can also control this on the local level. So I'm in Starlight Lake right now. Let's say that I only want to focus on junk-based buildings. I could remove these other types of industrial, and all of my buildings would then follow these junk trees. One thing to be warned is that if you were to remove all of a plot type, for example in the Marshall, which only defaults with one type, if I were to remove that, Marshall plots would no longer build. They would just sit there blank and empty until you gave them access to a building plan or you selected one yourself. So watch out for emptying out any of these containers completely. If you ever find that you kind of lost track of what you've done and you want to reset stuff, you can hit the reset option. You can do it on a per plot type basis, or you can come down to the bottom and reset them all, and all of the plans will be restored. Another thing to note is that the global always supersede the local. So if you've got a building plan banned in this first menu, and then you come down to the local level and see that it's still here, it won't matter. The global will take precedence. So make sure that if you ban anything globally, you absolutely don't want it to show up in any settlement. Otherwise, you'll want to work with the local options. So these are kind of a way you could pre-configure a theme of the building types you want in your settlement before you even lay down the plots, and then you wouldn't have to worry about running around and manually selecting them. So for those of you guys who are more into the full automation, now you have some controls that don't require you to manually run around selecting building plans. And then, as always, I have added more holotape options to continue making this thing dauntingly large. There are two new options: the all work counts as a job, and beds are homes. Now what these do is allow vanilla work objects or mod edit work objects. So basically anything that's not a plot that counts as or that acts as like a work type thing would count as a job if you turn this on, and any type of bed that's not in a plot would count as a home if you turn this on, and that would count toward upgrades as well as on the HUD meter, which I know a lot of you guys had a little bit of a OCD tick from seeing that meter unfull, and now you have an option to cure that. I will warn you though, the reason these are off by default is that turning them on screws with the upgrade pattern that Sim Settlements uses. So one of the things that happens in the background of Sim Settlements is that different buildings upgrade at different times based on what would make logical sense. For example, settlers won't upgrade their homes until they have jobs that make them more money. Now, obviously, it's not a direct correlation to real life in the sense that there's not these guys aren't making a bunch of dollars coming out of these jobs, but the idea is as the economy is more prosperous, settlers have more resources left over to upgrade their homes. Or, for example, commercial, wait until the settlers are more prosperous before they upgrade. Things like that are all intertwined throughout Sim Settlements, and if you turn these two options on, all of that stuff kind of gets thrown out the window. So if you like the immersion of Sim Settlements and kind of the way things upgrade now, I would leave these alone. But if you're mixing in a lot of vanilla stuff, turning these on might be good for you. Okay guys, other than that, check out the patch notes. As always, there's lots of different fixes and little tweaks here and there. And take care and enjoy the mod.